And then the way this one will then work is, hi everybody, this is the first of our training series into the template management form builder we've built within CheckSpec to give you a pretty good indication of how easy it is to build forms and the little tricks and tips to make it even easier. So what we're going to do today is we're going to come through and we'll build a inspection for metal roofing that will be available in the CheckSpec platform. What we aim to do is put a wide variety of forms into the platform and you guys can use them, but we can't cover everything. So we give people the option to create your own. So we'll just come through here today and we'll just call that metal roofing. Okay, so we have numerous options here. Text field, text arena, numbers, passwords, checkbox, select boxes. Now, I'm not going to go through and explain what all of they do, but we do have some basic components here. Okay, so text field for single line text input, text area for longer multi-text, number captures numeric input, passwords, checkbox, select, radio, and buttons. I'll shoot through this pretty quick, guys, so you guys can pause if you want to have a longer look at what these are. Again, advanced components, we can put in email numbers, URLs, tags, addresses, date, time, pickers, currency, survey, and signatures at the end of forms. Okay, so some pretty user-friendly applications here that we allow you guys to build. And then layout options, we have some HTML options, content options, columns. That's moving more into the advanced section of the form builder. We certainly won't be touching on that today. We're going to do some basic things for what I believe, you know, a high percentage of these inspections are going to be done in just a simple format. So what we're going to do here is it's simply just a drag and drop. We'll bring this in. Now this all looks very complex. Don't let that fool you. We only really need the label at the top here. So in this case, we will put site address. Hit save on that. There it is. Now we do have the option, if we don't want to come back here and drag and drop, we can also copy and paste it below and then edit it. This would be, of course, if you've done some more advanced options. So then we'll just add the inspector name. There are additional items here we can go into a little bit. I'm going to keep it very simple to build your first form. Another thing we may want is the date and the time of the inspection. Now we can put date, time of site work, and then we can add this, copy, paste, and we'll paste that below, and then we'll edit that. Now then we could have date and time, report written. Sometimes we need to determine when these things are written and when the site inspection actually took place for an evidentiary purpose. So again, we just have some base tools. We can go ahead and premium tools, drag and drop files. So we could go drag and drop a file in here, and this could be uploaded roof plans. Okay, and then that will put a drag and drop option within the software. So we can then come into advanced and look at different things. Signature down the bottom, time. So the time of the inspection is probably an important one. We could put through, we could call that arrival on site. Save that in there. And then look, if this is not the order you want them in, just drag and drop. It's quite a friendly little system. Bring that down below. Okay, so then we come back into our basics and we can do select boxes, radio, a few different things here. So the first thing we want to come through and do So the first thing we want to come through and do is some select boxes. So let's drop that in there. And we will then put weather on inspection day. Again, for evidentiary purposes, if it ever goes any further. And then within here, we just go into the data and we'll just put sunny, raining, overcast, cloudy. Okay, once we've got that, then we hit save, and that gives us some selectable options. The other option we have here is a checkbox in which we can do the same thing. And then again, data validation. And there's different ways we can display this. Okay. We also have the options to just do basic selections. So we drag and drop this in here. Again, weather. And these can be whatever you want. Spelling is on fire today. Okay, data. And again, sunny, rain, cloud. Save that. Okay, so then we can come into different things like edit grid. And again, we might call that site photo. Okay, and then in brackets, we'll just put front of dwelling. This will generally be the one that goes on the front of the report. So then again, front of dwelling. Now we might want to move that up. Second or third cab off the rank. Now then again, we can come through and do basic checklists. So let's have a look at some of the things we want to have a look at in the roofing space. Could be spacing of screws, could be batten locations, type of roof. Okay, so let's do a text field and we'll ask type of roof. Okay, now that's probably wrong what I've just done there. So if we come back to select boxes and we drop this in, we can then go type of roof and then bring in the data. And then we can say quick lock, add another, gives you another box. Corrugated. Again, my spelling is on fire. And we might have different ones, standing seam, something like that. We get the drift of what we're saying. So then it's a simple click on site. Okay. Then bring in the text field. And another thing we're going to want to know is roof pitch. Okay. Simple things to do. Simple reports. Now, then we can come through and look at some basic questions. So let's have a look at and we will ask bar screw fixing spaces in accordance with specifications. Probably would word it better than I just did. And then again, we can come through and put all these different items in there. Okay. So select box, and we'll do that again. So in the select box, we can say hip bridge and started installed as per requirement. Okay, and now again, data, simple. Leave it to say yes, no. We might have not applicable, could be a flat roof, or not complete. So really, really simple stuff. And there they are again. So again, if we're going to do that, we might come into the data, edit grid, and we'll drop a photo in here. And we'll say photo of the roof cappings. And then we put 5 in there. And again, we'll save that. Now, once again, front of site wants to go up the top here, and this one might want to come down a little bit lower. Okay. Okay, so then you can again come through. There is a bit of moving around, and we understand that. And we'll just come into basic. And once again, text field or text area is quite an easy way to add all of these. I'll add this one once I finish it all off. And then so basically when we finish it, we can chuck a signature in there. Straightforward. Drag and drop. And away we go. So that's a very basic photos, details, things we can have a look in there. You know, there are premium features, customs, files, drag and drop, data, container, or advanced, tags. I'll get into all of that in further videos, but that gives you a quick overview. So again, time, left site, or completion of inspection, and we can just assign a time to that. Really easy drag and drop type stuff, guys. We've tried to make this as basic as possible. We will keep adding more and more to this, and I will keep doing more and more tutorials to make it easier for you guys as we go. So thanks very much, guys.